Okay, hello everyone. No one except me joined the office hours today. So for now, I'm only talking to myself, but there is a small amount of very important announcements. So I've decided to share the short video with you anyway. Gonna share the screen. And I really hope you can see my Chrome browser now. So the most important announcement is that we have removed plugin management from Jenkins configuration as code plugin, which means you can't use a root element called plugins to configure your proxy, your update site, and install plugins anymore. The reason for that is that it never worked well. And we experienced some very serious issues with infinite restart loops that Jenkins ended up in after some of the plugins were updated. I think the recommended version of installing plugins for those of you who are using Docker is to rely on plugins install sh script. And I know it requires you to restart Jenkins, which is not always required if you, for example, want to install a new plugin, but that's the best we can provide right now without breaking your Jenkins. You can't use Jenkins configuration as code plugin to install plugins anymore, but proxy and update site configuration are still available. They were just moved since, as I mentioned, the plugin root element is gone. So to configure proxy, and this is available under demos folder, you can see that the proxy attribute was moved under Jenkins root element. And then the configuration is the way it was. And then to configure update center sites, you also put it under Jenkins root element using update center keyword. Unfortunately, for now, this is not a part of demos folder. What I'm showing you here is just the YAML used for our tests. But obviously, it should become a part of demos folder, so it will be moved. I'm sorry, not moved, but the configuration YAML will be available somewhere under demos folder, not only in tests. And another relatively big change that is not there yet, but is coming thanks to Joseph, is adding release drafter. There's a pull request that is still open, but it's basically ready to be merged, except there is one thing that Joseph is not entirely happy with, if I understand it correctly. So what it is, instead of maybe let's go back to the history for a second. We were using plugins wiki page to handle changelog, and it was not always updated together with the plugin new version of the plugin released. Then we've decided to move the changelog to the GitHub repository, and for now we are using Markdown file to provide you changelog. And this changelog is being updated automatically, which means every time after we release a new version, we have to go in and just write the changelog. And it can be automated, and Joseph found a nice way. So he wants to use release drafter, and it will just take the PRs that became a part of a given release, and that's how it would look. I was actually worrying that it will mess up the old releases, and the way it looked now, I'm quite happy with it. Joseph introduced a couple of categories, and I really like the way it's being displayed. We just have to make sure that the messages we're putting in our pull requests make sense. So I think we're going to go for it. I mentioned Joseph had a question, and there was a comment. Yeah, because together with this release drafter in this a pull request, we have, if I understand it correctly, a couple of different issue templates depending on the type of the issue that is created. It's a bug or feature request or plugin compatibility. And Joseph has asked about suggestion regarding the shape of the feature request plugin, and I promised to have a look at it. I didn't have time for that yet. I'm gonna keep this PR unmerged for a day or two, so if anyone is interested in sharing any opinions, just jump in and comment. But very soon it will be merged. I really like the way it looks. And yeah, there's a couple of other PR pull requests that I actually wanted to have a conversation about. So I'm not gonna comment much on those. But I think it's worth pointing out that we have a PR in which we were planning to target Jenkins 2.164.1. Since it's pretty stable, so that may happen soon. It's there's a lot of changes, and I don't want to merge it without having a conversation about it first. But yeah, there are some other things, but it would be nice to have someone to discuss. So I'm not gonna cover those now. That's it. That's all I had to say. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I can see no one else join, so I will just stop broadcasting. Well, thank you for listening. Bye.